Um, okay, so this is officially the first podcast episode of Little Big Wins. I literally just started that tonight, literally. And I feel like, again, I just want to reiterate that I'm making Little Big Wins because I want people to understand that um, where we are right now and the efforts that seem smaller, maybe we can honor, not maybe, but for sure we can honor those. They need not, or I need not focus on the big strokes and big efforts that take a multiplicity of small efforts. I'm talking about the complexity of the small things in life that really are very meaningful. They are a big deal and they are definitely have always been worthy of being honored. I do want to give a few examples. For example, I have started a business. I have started a company, and in that there are several subsidiaries, like sub businesses, I guess would be a good way to say it. And I am now in the beginning of establishing, giving it a legal status with the help from the state and the city of New York City, where I live, to officially make it an S corp. And before I decided in making a business, I took years of having small steps that were significant. And of course, you have family members and you have friends that are asking, "Hey, when's that going to get done?" And that just is not. That's just. I have found that is just not my style. And a lot of it is because I wanted to pay attention to who I really was. Was I going to make and create a business or businesses that really did not speak from my soul so that I could share it? So I really have taken the time, years even, to compose activities, events, online interactions, merchandise for people to purchase, or platforms with merchandise on it for people to purchase. That really is coming directly or created directly at the core of who I really am. And it turns out that it's really not just one or two subsidiaries, but many different types of subsidiaries or businesses. And I really love that. Right now, I'm in the middle of completing these particular projects and sub projects and mini projects, and so I have not yet crossed the finish line yet. I am really inching towards that in establishing the S corp. However, there were so many things I did before that, and it was a lot of mental intrapersonal mental conversations I've had with myself over the years. And then before I actually started creating it online, I really had to focus in on what's it going to look like online, what are the categories of the multiplicities of businesses and business types that I'm doing. Do any of these things actually honor who I am soulfully when I'm expressing certain things, either artistically or business-wise? I know people do make very savvy decisions, but for me, I wanted to be savvy, but mostly I wanted to be soulful. I wanted to be for real with who I am. That also includes the complexity of timing. I did not rush through any of my business ideas. I did not rush through any of it. And I am forever grateful for that. And a lot of it is because I got the time to not only mull over it and brood over it, but also to slow down and take a look at what I am doing and enjoy it. Not just look in hindsight and enjoy it, but like currently, as I'm actively currently right now in the actual activity of it, the actual actions of it, in the here and the now. I really got to enjoy it, and I savored, and I continue to savor every second, every moment, every minute of creating those things, and also ensuring that I am producing things that are really from my soul. And I think if you did the same thing, you would find that you would not have just one or two ideas and projects to develop. You would have a multiplicity. Right now, it's at over 40 projects that I'm doing, and I really love it. And part two of that particular project I wanted to talk about is that it has helped me know that I can jump around from project to project if I'm feeling like I want to do these three on a particular day and not the three I worked on yesterday. Or I want to focus on one today. That's what I want to do. I want to express that. And just an example of the types of subsidiaries in my businesses that I do. I sell beauty products, but I did not just want it to be kind of typically what other people are doing. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And so I wanted to focus in on my very churchy approach at fashion and beauty. So a lot of modesty and honoring women who and girls who want to express who they are, but they're not necessarily interested in kind of flashing and revealing a lot of skin for all the public to see. And that's kind of one of my approaches to beauty. Different types of lipsticks I like and mascaras, but also express like a little message with each product as well that leans towards that churchy, very girly, frou-frou type of beauty and fashion sense. I love a lot of vintage. I personally love Melania Trump's style. So many things that she is affiliated with, I'm actually in alignment with my thought. But she just dresses so beautifully, often so demure, but so stylish, and the way that she holds herself. And she's one of those who is churchy, who's a girly, very feminine, serious, internally very serious about her thoughts and feelings towards religion. So I really appreciate that about her. And in my beauty business, I wanted to make sure that all of that is extracted in mind and from my actual soul and expressed and not held back, but also expressed in a way that even though I'm not holding back, I'm not necessarily wanting to always come off as a tiger. I really like that girly, sweet way of expressing myself. And so that's my own form of confidence. So I wanted to express that too. Also with my business, I also made sure that it really was not just things that are soulfully wanting to jump out and be expressed, but also things that are at the practical level, things that I personally wanted to focus on getting done. For example, one of my businesses, again, has, my feelings and expressions and ideas of being a New Yorker, living in New York City, but being aware of my being inclusive of my country folk side. You know, I'm a South Pacific Island girl, very rural, not only rural, but remote in my upbringing. And of course, at times, having been raised in LA as well and San Diego, and a teeny bit of Hawaii, where I later also did undergraduate schooling. And where I continue to go every year. Well, anyway, I did not want to forget that countryside of me. I also have history, and I continue to visit the Northern Great Plains on and off reservations, and so that's a big part of my life as well. And also the South, the beautiful South, and the more southern parts of the Midwest. I did not want to forget that there are places around the planet that I have lived in or visit often, or even visited once, where there are traditions and ways to do things from those areas that are really quite beautiful. Not always and not often at center stage in media, in mainstream media, with or nor glamorized, but rural peoples and the rural ways that they decorate their home and focus on their families and beautify their homes and their gardens and their ranches and their open airness. The beaches in Samoa and Hawaii that I know and love, and also in Fiji and elsewhere. What are these? What can I do to focus on that? And I do. So I have a really great. One of my subsidiary companies is New York City Country Folk, where I honor everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world that has people doing wonderful things in rural countryside settings. I also have a great love for the Amish people, and they live just a couple hours away from where I live currently here in New York City. And I just love seeing them and knowing and learning of them, and how great they are, and how they find joy and cheer in being a very rural colony of people. And they're located, there's so many colonies everywhere. I mean, in so many different places. And so I wanted to show appreciation to them. I also visited the English countryside. It's everything that we imagine it to be. There's a certain just a certain way that the landscape is manicured in England. That English countryside, it's iconic, it's idyllic. It's got, it evokes our imaginations of that sense of literary pastoralism. It's really, really, that's often in my mind as well. And also in other places, I remember visiting Africa and enjoying a visit with friends on a particular project in Uganda, and visiting the northern town of Gulu there, and really loving the mindset there. Of course, they were in the wake of healing from civil strife and some terrible tragedies that had gone down there. But there was such a resilience about the rural countryside, small town, small city folks there, and just a wonderful warmth there as well. As they grew their own crops, of course, they built their own homes, they created their own economies by creating crafts, but also crafts for the artistic senses, but also for practical reasons in and around their home acreages, and all to nurture family life. I really, really love that. And so that's what New York City Country Folk is all about as well. I also just launched out of New York City Country Folk this thing I call Cozy, this celebration of small spaces. And the reason I did that was or is because so many people, I think, believe that once you're an adult, or even before you're an adult, you have a goal of owning or building your own home. And so for a lot of people, that's not quite always something that's actually attainable or that they even actually want. So they end up renting smaller spaces, smaller homes or rooms even. And, whatever our housing and our living situation is, I do want us to celebrate those small places, those small spaces. For example, if you own and live in your own home, or if you rent your home, there are small spaces that I wanted to honor and discuss and celebrate. That it's not the entire house that's getting decorated or cleaned. It's just that small corner that you always wanted to get to. That type of thing. Also, if you're not interested, or you're not quite able to have ownership of your own apartment, maybe you just have a room. You don't have to wait until you own an apartment or rent an entire apartment or an entire home or a house to actually start beautifying your style, your way, that living space of yours. And so I wanted Cozy Small Spaces to honor that, and to honor the beauty of that simplicity. And it's just my way of giving a hug to that. So, it's back to little big wins, of course. Also in cleaning, which is also part of New York City Country Folk, is there are cleaning sessions and decorating sessions I like to film and post. And they're of small spaces. But also, I think we want to ask ourselves how we want to clean. Are we doing a rush job, a rage cleaning job, trying to get things done? And I've been, over the last several years, I've been trying to flip the narrative on that and my approach on that, and cleaning, just small cleaning here and there, small organization projects here and there, or along the way. And at times be okay about it being messy for a few days, your living space. I'm, like I said, I want to recognize the little big wins when we do start cleaning, but also in the nature of my own cleaning. I'm not necessarily interested in always rage cleaning and rush cleaning and being so militant about it, but instead enjoying, savoring every moment of how you want to organize the inside of your junk drawer. So if it's, you want to, I like to keep it a junk drawer, but I like that it's organized, an organized junk drawer. If something like the lights or the electricity went out, I want to be able to know which drawer I stuck the batteries and the flashlight and the candles. And I don't really want to rummage through a lot of junk. I just want to know that they're in that junk drawer and that they are organized in a nice way. But in doing so, I don't want to rush clean or rage clean or rush organize or rage organize that particular drawer or any drawer. So I'm celebrating and honoring when I do just smaller strokes of cleaning. It's part of my Cozy Small Spaces space, as well as all of that coming out of my New York City Country Folk project as well, or business as well. And I did not rush that part or any other business under my parent company. I really enjoyed learning that I love being and staying home. Currently, I do have a few side hustles that I have to leave the house for, my apartment for. But soon that I will be able to transition away from that and really just focus on my businesses only. Anyway, so I just, I'm grateful that I'm able to have these ideas and plans, or I have plans created from my true and most authentic, genuine, soulful self, where ideas are sprung and are created and are not forgotten and are not dismissed. I do not gaslight these creative ideas. I pay attention to them, and they seem very, very small in the beginning, these ideas. But I do notice that I have created entire businesses from them as well. I did not rush. Again, I want to emphasize that I did not rush these processes or sub-processes or mini processes. I honored them by not rushing through them. I honored them by working on them when the feeling came during whatever day to work on them over a period of several days and several weeks and what has turned into several years. And I have enjoyed that I have created things that truly are my soul. And even house cleaning. There are times when I feel like it. I enjoy it. I'm going to admit there are days where I just don't feel like doing it. And so instead of adhering to that lack of motivation, I adhere to the discipline of making sure I pay attention to my feelings. And if I don't want to clean it, okay, I'm not going to clean it for a few days. And also the other type of discipline where I do get up and say, okay, I want to do this and I'm going to enjoy it as I do it. And in that, I bask in that little big win called basking in joy and cheer and positivity. And it's my own timing. It's not rushed. I go at a pace that I love. I live alone. I live alone in my living space. And so there's no need for me to Speedy Gonzales, too far ahead of myself. And so maybe if you have little big wins that you also want to express, DM me, message me, and I would love to have you on my podcast here, on my little podcast here, which I think is just so significant and so important to honor the greatness of how little things, of who we are and where we are. And so with that, I wish you all little big wins. Thank you.